here the real-time systems is said to be having to perform the complete tasks and the works and the services which is provided to it. And these are mainly two types of categories. One is soft real-time. So the soft real-time task, it is meant to perform the task as fast as possible. But here the late penalties or like result in undesirable results, but not very fatal. And the system performance degrades as more and more jobs misses the deadline. Some of the examples of these types are multimedia transmission and reception, networking side like telecom networks and website services, and computer games. So let's see the other type of these real-time systems, which is hard real-time system. So here, this is mainly meant to perform all tasks on time. Any task which is not met its deadline, it is called under fatal, and it may lead to a life death. Some of the examples are with respect to nuclear power plant controls, vehicle subsystems, and we can see in terms of the aircraft, and many examples we'll see in the upcoming slides. And coming to our primary topic, the real-time operating system. So this autos basically comprises of two components, the real-time and the operating system. The operating system, which we already connected either through mobile or our laptops, it is already having running with it. It's just nothing but collection of the system calls and the functions which provides the interface between the hardware and the application programs. Whereas the real time, as the term defines, it must be very correctness of the system depends not only on the kind of logical results, computations, but also at the time of results which they are produced. So the architecture of this real-time operating system is primarily contains of 4 layers. One is the application layer. So this is where actually the developer programs and to build the software as per the user requirements and execute them on the real time. So here the autos layer will provide the APIs for the applications to interact and also to perform the operations required. This autos layer is the real-time APIs where it provides and offers the schedulers, the IPC mechanisms, file management services, memory management services, and many other features. And coming to the up next, the autos basically interacts with the next layer called BSP. It expands for board support package. So this actually holds the target related configurations based on our hardware, the CPU, the memories, and the RAM and ROM categories. Along with these memories, we will be having the different protocol initializations on the hardware as well. So that's the role of this BSP. And coming to the target hardware, where all of these runs on this target hardware, it's actually the combination of these electronic components which are mounted over the PCBs and enables to run our software applications on it. Let's see the current trends where this autos application is actually running in the fields. So the best application for this is defense or the military systems, where it can be of radar or the smart weapons. And industry automations, which is most used for the controlling of the machines or in the manufacturing processing. In the medical, for the artificial body part substitution and to work for the as like a real body part, and many other medical equipments to measure the patient's health. And home applications in terms of consumer electronics, which is most known, well known to all of us. And others are in terms of space-based, the satellite systems and the safety and surveillances, which helps for us in terms of the emergency situations for either fire alarm systems or monitoring systems. And other one comes about the transportations. It can be the railway systems, the submarines, which flows under the water in the oceans, or the automotives. And last but not the least, the robotics, which is the primary hot for everything. So this is helpful in terms of the automations, and which are actually now a lot of things getting deployed in terms of home robotics. And also many of the humanoid robotics are also coming based on the researches. And the autos primary, the state of art, it is like, as we discussed previously, these autos can provide and offer a lot of services in terms of scheduler, which is actually responsible to decide which tasks to execute at what time on the CPU. And coming to the device drivers, this is an important module which provides the connectivity of the hardware devices. As we know, as we discussed with respect to the RAM memories, the ROM memories, and ICs like sensors, actuators. So for that application to interact, we require these device driver modules. And up next, the networking protocols. So every system works and runs on its own. There must be an interface to communicate the live data and also providing the channels for the user to control the system. So example is in terms of the Ethernet interface, where we can lively work with the many of the hardware systems. So right now, whatever web pages we see, background, there are many other systems which are receiving the communications over these networking protocols. And the libraries part. So these are all can be grouped together examples of the standard IO libraries or the thread libraries, which provides basically the APIs to develop the applications. And the file systems. So these are the components or modules which provides how the accessing of the file and also how it has to reside in the sectors or the block pages in the NAND or NOR flash memories. And the last one is in terms of the debug services. So this is actually the heart and soul whenever we want to deploy any of the application to the hardware. So this will be most helpful and also come into picture when we want to provide informations and also an interface channel to connect to our hardware. So with the help of these debug services, we can actually read and write to the live memories of our hardwares. Let's see some of the features of this. So here the autos is mainly meant to perform multitasking. It must be able to handle the interrupts, and whatever it is going to handle, it must be deterministic. The predictability must be there. Whatever output I am expecting, it should match in time. And the latency, the context between the tasks must be very minimal, and also it should be very processed in time. So this has to be based on the interrupt or the input triggers. So the output of the system must be able to have the responses in the time depict manners. Let's see some of the software solution providers for these autos. So the BlackBerry, well known in terms of mobile cases, but they have their own autos named QNX. And the Free Autos organization, which is providing their services for the free autos, and Green Hill Software, which is a proprietary software, and their autos name is Integrity. And the Keel Autos, this is actually where many engineers start their career while working with the many microcontrollers or the processors. So they too have the Keel real-time autos. And the Microsoft Azure has the ThreadX, which was earlier owned by Express Logic. Now the proud owner of it is Microsoft Azure. And the Renesas, it has named its own autos with respect to hardware autos. So this is one of the leading automation side vendor. And the Text Instruments, the most famous in terms of digital signal processing for the audio and video applications. So they have their own solution for these autos named SysBIOS. Its expansion is System BIOS. And the key player for these autos is VxWorks and the RT Linux by Wind River. So this is one of the very proprietary autos where many of the Mars applications are running with these autos. It plays a major role in many of the hardwares. applications. So let's see, we have seen the software solution providers. Let's see more towards about the hardware solution providers. Microsemi is mainly famous in terms of FPGAs, but nowadays they are also branding coming up with the ARM cores where these autos will be running on those processors. And the NXP semiconductors. So these are the families taken few of the processor families like MPC, the P series, the T series, which are the leading applications right now. So they are the suppliers for these processors. And the Renesas, as we discussed, they are also one of the leading partners in terms of the automation side hardware providers. And the Texas Instruments, so they have a lot of SoCs, the system on chip, the combination of DSPs, the ADC chips, the cores for audio and the video. And Xilinx, it is also one of the FPGA vendor, and nowadays they are also coming up with many SoCs, system on chips, where the ARM, the application side A type processors, and also the M type processors, and real time R type processors are coming with those SoCs. So these are very powerful, where by using this one chip we'll be able to realize the complete system of it. So let's see what is the role in the real-time systems. Any operating system which has to perform, the application developments can happen in terms of standalone applications. So here standalone applications often having no OS is involved in it. And these are mainly runs with the microcontroller based embedded systems. So here, if we take any example of the audio algorithms or in terms of the audio applications, so there are multiple tasks which has to perform is the capturing of the data. Once it is captured, we should be able to process it of the samples, plot them, and identify to get the comparisons of the reference limits. And also to make the proper actions for the decoding part. Either it can store the samples or it can send out to the output devices. If we see with respect to standalone applications, so here it can have the ability to perform the task in a sequential manner. So here, whenever one task is completed, then only CPU can have the control over the next task. So it is very sequential based and also a time consuming one. It has its own limitations. So that's where the autos running with an operating system, which is a huge and complex one, provides multiple threads and also complicated synchronization requirements. And it provides the file system or the network support based on the application demands. So here the OS actually reduces this lot of software design times which is involved in terms of standalone as compared to these autos. So here if we see in the autos, when the CPU is there, it can be loaded with the multiple tasks which can be running parallelly with the help of schedulers. So these terms we will be seeing in the up next slides. So the characteristics of an operating system, it must be very a reliable solution provider, and it has to be predictable. The performance with respect to either the input and output, it has to be very predictable. So the performance, if it is not meeting the mark, then the system can't be deployed. So it can't be qualified for the up next any of the project deployments. And scalable, it must be able to scalable in terms of the application demands, which is going and growing for this every day, the operations. And the final one is in terms of the compactness. So this is mainly in terms of these application footprints where the software must be able to fit in the hardware memories. So nowadays there is no limitation of the memories, but olden days we have very less memory but more cost. So nowadays we are able to get very huge memories in few bucks. Here, let's see what kind of important features for the autos. So they are in terms of task management. So here in autos, we deal with the tasks. So to manage them, this task manager is required, and which task to run at what time will be decided by the scheduler. And this resource allocation, which is in terms of the IPC or the hardware interfaces or the software interrupts. So everything must be taken care. So the interrupt handling in terms of the stimuli, whatever generated by the connected devices, has to be one of the primary feature for these autos. So the tasks, which is the basic building block of the software written on these autos. So here the task can be treated as a subroutine for our understanding in relating to our C programs. So these tasks can be invoked or triggered operations in terms of two ways. It can be either periodic or aperiodic. So the periodic is something which is time triggered. So we have already configured some known times it has to execute and it has to run for the limited time. The aperiodic is something event triggered, completely based on the inputs of coming from the interrupt lines. So here the autos has to perform with the least context switching between these event trigger or the period time triggered ones. These tasks can be created in two ways. Either it can be static mode or the dynamic mode. So the static mode is something which is already fixed in the application, whatever we are compiling it. So at the launch of that application, this task can be invoked automatically, or it can be invoked based on the dynamic, as depending on the responses or based on the data processing inputs or commands coming from the user. So accordingly, we can create the required tasks, which is called as dynamic. And the multitasking system, which is the categories of preemptive and non-preemptive. So these preemptive is something the switching between the higher priority tasks, taking the control of the process from lower priorities. So this plays a very major role for the autos, and we have seen many kind of issues. The real-time systems like Mars Pathfinder got an issue because of this. And non-preemptive is something where every task can control the CPU for as long as it needs. So let's see how this task is managed. So every task which is got created, it has its own life cycle. So the task will be having the code memory or the instructions, what the application has to perform this task, and the data memory to work it with its stored variables, and the stack memory. So here it can be based with respect to this context switching as well. It plays an important role. And this task state, which is stored in the memory blocks called as task control block. When the task is not running on the processor, it gets updated in this task control blocks. So all these task control blocks, which is available for every task created by the user. So typical task control block contains what is the ID of the task, what is the priority of it, and what kind of status of this task it is running or it is on hold, and the registers working with this processor, and also the saved PC program control and the stack pointer. These are two which are very important in terms of the context switchings. So all these tasks are taken care by these autos to schedule which task has to run or at what time on the CPU. So these task management states, it can be in terms of the executing, which indicates it is actually running on the CPU. And it can also be the ready state, which could run, but another one is already using the CPU. So it has to wait. Though the task is ready to execute, but because of the CPU busyness, he can't execute. He has to wait for the other task completion. And the other state is called as blocked, which is wait for something, either IO or the signaling interface. And the dormant is something created, but it is not executing yet. The terminated is no longer active once any of the task which is done with its job. So the application responsibility is to terminate the task so that those resources can be released and it can be utilized for the next upcoming task. So these autos implements a very fine state machine. So state machines for each task to manage all these level of transactions between the tasks.